personal coach, Dr. Nima is both a chiropractor and an educator specializing in helping individuals and professionals get to the root cause of their physical and emotional challenges, from stressed, depressed, and anxious to living powerfully aligned and on purpose. After building a successful chiropractic practice in Maple Ridge, Nima sold his clinic in June 2016 to pursue his passion of teaching and coaching professionals who are stressed, depressed, and anxious transform and have their best year ever in both a private and corporate setting. So, what does that mean to me and to us? Nima has made a profound impact on my life in just such a short space of time of knowing him. He's really just helped me realign with my purpose and my passion for what I do, to really connect with my own personal power. And he's helped me move through one of the greatest challenges that I've ever faced. And he helped me do that in record timing. And a couple of weeks ago, we were having one of our coaching sessions, and we kind of were just doing a little bit of a celebration of how far I have, what I've really moved through so quickly. And Nima, you said a quote to me, which was something along the lines of, people ask, how long do I need to stay in the darkness? And the answer is until you can see. So I want to thank you personally for helping me see. And,
you're going to make me cry. You're going to make me cry. Please stop. This is not a great way to start this, Kira.
We all cry a lot in this business. It's all good. You're a part of your home. You're part of the family. You cry. So, and I just think, I think it's so important that we all have someone in our court who is playing for us to win, who is not only helping us, raise our own standards, but they're doing that by keeping us accountable to owning our own bullshit. Nima doesn't coach me by telling me how awesome I am. He's actually been damn brutal in me looking at my own bullshit and taking responsibility for it, and stepping up and moving through it, and really just accessing a better version of myself. And and just helping me remember my worth has been a huge gift that he's given me over the past 2 months. And just the truth of my potential. And just helping me break through that next glass ceiling. And we all have those glass ceilings. And I know it's easy to put us leaders up on pedestals, but you have to understand that every step of my journey, there's been a new glass ceiling to break through. And in fact, that challenge just grows greater, right? As everything grows bigger, the challenges become bigger. But the exciting thing about that is we grow bigger as people, and that is the greatest gift that you get out of it. So I'm just going to hand it over to you and let you work your magic with these guys.
Thank you so much, Kira. Wow, what a beautiful introduction. Hi guys, it's so good to see you. I gotta say, this is weird. I'm in a hotel room in Los Angeles at a conference, and Kira asked me to share with you guys, and I was like, okay, cool. And I didn't know what to expect, and now I'm on a Zoom call. I can see you guys. I'm glad I can actually see you guys. So if you guys can wave to me, okay, great. That's so cool. How great is this technology? Oh man. And so what I wanted to do was to make sure, Kira, if you could have like a microphone close by over there, because I do want to share with you guys a very important message, because I understand the game that you guys are all here to play. You're here to better yourselves. You're here because of the fact that you have decided that the current reality of where you were living at the level you were living at, with income, with opportunity, with your level of development, it wasn't acceptable to you. And you took the leap and gave yourself permission to step beyond your comfort zone. So the first thing that I wanted to do was to just get you to just to get you for a moment to turn around and acknowledge yourself for that. Because here's the thing, today we're going to be talking about rejection and what blocks you from getting out in there and really sharing your opportunity with everyone. And the thing that we seldom do is to turn around and just give ourselves the acknowledgement. Okay, so what I want you to do right now is to really connect, and notice the resistance you might have for doing this, to connect with yourself, that inner voice within you, to acknowledge the fact that you went beyond what the status quo, you're looking beyond the status quo, maybe the upbringing that your family was raised into, that you were born into, that you said, no, I'm not going to repeat the patterns of my upbringing. I want to create a better life, more opportunity. And in order to do that, it involves me expanding what's comfortable and going into the unknown. Okay, so the first thing that I want you to do is to turn to the person next to you. We're going to take 30 seconds and just to acknowledge yourself. Just turn to the person next to you and say, I acknowledge myself for stepping out of my comfort zone into my fear and taking a risk. Go ahead and do that right now. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Awesome. So beautiful. Can you guys see me, or is it shaky? Am I frozen up there on the screen? Because you guys are frozen on my screen.
Yeah, it's shaking in and out a little bit, but the sound is fine.
Okay, the sound is fine. Okay, great. As long as the sound is fine, and as long as my hair looks good, then everything is fine. As long as it's not an awkward. Are we back? Okay. So I can't see anything right now. There's no visual, but can you guys see me?
I can see you and we can hear you.
Okay, great. So I can't see you, but that's a little bit awkward, but I'm just going to talk into the phone and just trust, okay? So the first thing that I wanted to share with you guys is, number one, that's the first thing, is if you don't take the time to acknowledge yourself every single day, can you hear me? Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? I can't hear anything. Can you guys hear me? Yay, that works. Can you hear me now? Check, check, check. Can you hear me? Check, check, check. I can hear you. I can see you now, Kira. I can see you, but it's a little slow. And I don't know if it's the internet in Australia is shit, or is it my hotel room? Which one? Can you hear me?
Is your internet on?
My
hear us?
internet is, I can hear you now. Yay. I can hear you now. Can you hear me? It's really shaky.
Yeah.
Not sure if it's my internet or yours that's not working. Not sure if it's mine or yours that's not working. Yeah, can you hear me?
Your end or our end?
I'm not sure because it's like a little shaky, and I don't know if it's your end or mine, but it's could be yours. I can hear you. I can hear you right now a little bit, but it's kind of shaky. It's in and out, and it's not 100%. Let me try something. Yeah, you come on there and
How is it now?
much better.
How is it now?
Better.
Is that better?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We changed. All right. We're good to go.
Okay, perfect.
All right. Kick off where you
All right. Okay, so you just acknowledged yourself. Now check this out, you guys. I want you to write this down. Make sure you have some notes here because I'm going to be just kind of going stream of consciousness here, and I want this to be as interactive as possible. The first thing that I want to tell you guys is if you don't take the time every day to acknowledge yourself and acknowledge your wins, then you're going to likely be stopped in your business and your personal life because you're going to be looking for that approval externally. And what happens whenever we look for external approval? When somebody is desperate for your approval, who's been in a situation where they had a friend or somebody they were dating or, they're in partnership with who was just so desperate for your approval? What does that get? What feeling does that give you? It's like the last thing you want to do is to give them what they're so hungry for externally because they're so lacking it inside. And why that's important to you is because if you're not every single day taking time in the mornings and in the evenings to count every single individual win, you're going to be looking for it externally. You're going to be looking for outside approval to give you what you're missing inside. Does that make sense? Okay, so that is critical. That's why I started you off with really acknowledging yourself and empathizing with yourself. Because we're talking about giving other people opportunity, this opportunity that you have in Juice Plus, which is a fabulous product. It is an amazing opportunity. You have this dedicated group of leaders that want nothing but your growth. Why? Because it's to their advantage that you're growing. What I wanted to do is take a moment to really acknowledge Adam and Kira for a moment. I wanted to acknowledge Adam and Kira for their dedication to their business, which is dedicating themselves to serving you guys, to making sure you're as resourced and supported as possible because you're going out into the unknown. And even being a leader is not easy. They go through their own personal challenges, and yet still, for the sake of their mission, they're staying united to be able to make sure that you guys have the best support possible. And that is because what I know to be true about both of them is that they're grounded in a mission that's greater than them. That is number one. That is number two. Number 1 point is to acknowledge yourself. Number 2 point is to really get connected with a mission statement that serves, that shares and declares what you would love to be, do, and have in your life. And this mission statement needs to be written in the present tense. So this is what all of you are going to do as homework tonight. And I want to hear from you as well. So if you guys go ahead and add me to Instagram and Facebook, it's at Dr. Nima. I'd love for you guys to take out your phones and just add me right away and let me know and share with me your mission statements as well. At Dr. Nima on Instagram, DRNIMA. And so first and foremost, what I'd love to do is just a round of applause for Kira and Adam, because they're so dedicated to their mission statement that whatever goes on in their own personal lives, you're able to attach meaning to it so that you can rise above and transcend any challenge. Let's go ahead and give them a round of applause right now and some acknowledgement there. Huge kudos. And why this is important is because on your journey to building your business, are you guys there? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. On your journey to building your business, you can expect challenges. You can expect obstacles. You can expect problems on the home front, problems with your kids, behavioral issues with the kids. Parents are going to get sick. But the thing is, if you are grounded in a vision and a mission and a purpose that's greater than you, that you've declared what you'd love to be, do, and have, I want you to look at it like a superhero cape that you can put on and embody, okay? And so what I'm gonna get you to do right now as a little tool, a little exercise, is to pick a character or an archetype that you would love to embody that's just beyond the adjacent possible for you. Let me give you an example. Who here has seen the movie The Matrix? Put up your hands. Okay, perfect. Now, my archetype that I absolutely love is Morpheus, okay? So when I go to work each and every day, I can literally tune in to that character of Morpheus, that I attach that to my mission statement so that it gives me the strength, it gives me a context or a frame of who I'm being for others, who I'm being for my clients, who I'm being in every area of my life. So I want you to take a moment and write down an archetype that works for you. One of my clients who is a financial advisor, she was having a lot of problems with her personal life and trying to mix it in with her business. Excuse me. And so what we discovered was that her archetype that she really loved was this show that she loves to watch called Scandal. I don't know if you guys have watched that. You guys have Netflix over there. The show Scandal. She loves the Olivia Pope character because Olivia Pope, no matter what comes into her face, she just gets shit done. She finds a way to just get shit done. So we had her embody and get into the feeling and the vibration and the connection to Olivia Pope, okay? So here's what we're gonna do. This is gonna be a fun exercise for you, that you're going to attach to your mission statement that you're gonna declare what you'd love to be, do, and have, but pick a character that you really admire, that you are just beyond the adjacent possible. Could be Wonder Woman, could be, I don't know who. It could, if you're a gentleman, for me, it was definitely, it's Morpheus. pick a superhero or an archetype that's even more realistic than that. Take 30 seconds and decide and write it down silently as you're sitting there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to share it in just a moment. So go ahead and do that. Pick a character for a moment and write it down. And now what I'd like for you to do is to share it with the person next to you who your character archetype that you can attach to your mission statement is going to be. Go ahead and do that. You have 30 seconds and share why. Share why that's important. Go ahead. All right. Now switch it up. Switch it up now. Okay, beautiful. Now, perfect. Now I'm going to take you guys through an exercise. Beautiful. Let's wrap it up. Awesome. Okay. Amazing. Great. Now, so here's what we're going to do. So it might seem weird, but here's what I'm going to get you guys to do now. We're going to do an exercise, and we're going to take the next 5 minutes, and we're going to embody what you just did. Okay? So here's what I'm going to get you to do. Can I get you to close your eyes now? And sit, and we're going to do kind of like this silent meditation. So everybody just sit comfortably where you are and close your eyes. So I'm going to guide you through this. So as you're sitting there, just let's get you attuned into your body and notice your breath. And as you notice your breath, you'll notice the breath starts to regulate itself. When I was going through my most anxious times, I realized that I wasn't even breathing. So I'm going to get you connected with your breath right now. And now check in to how tense the muscles are in your face. Checking in to how tense the muscles are in your neck and shoulders. And on your exhale, completely let them relax. Bringing to your awareness now the tension that's in your shoulders, your upper back, your lower back, and your glutes and your buttock and your pelvic floor. Notice the tension there. And on your exhale, completely let them all relax. I'm going to encourage you now to become aware of the space that's in the center of your head and where it occupies in the room that you're sitting in. And zooming up like a drone, going in Google Earth, notice where that space is in the center of your head, all the way out beyond where you're at, where you are in the city that you're in. Noticing how your butt feels in the chair and getting attuned to your breath, zooming out further beyond the country, out into outer space, and notice the space in the center of your head and where it occupies on the globe. Zooming out further and watch yourself from the moon. You now have this overview perspective of who you really are. And as you're sitting there, connect with that archetype that you really resonate with. Breathe like that individual. Feel the strength, the resilience, the power, as though you are embodying that individual. And now connect to a vision of what you would love to be, do, and have on this planet. With that archetype, see yourself connecting with your loved ones, with friends, with strangers, hosting talks, taking them out for coffee and talking about the opportunity with such enthusiasm. Feel those individuals opening up and saying, yes, there's something about you. I want your leadership. I need your help in expanding. I'd love a greater opportunity as well. I want to link up arms with you. This is exactly what I've been looking for all my life. Feel what that would feel like. Feel the gratitude of seeing people's health transform. People connect to a tribe where they have felt completely disconnected. For you to be the leader, a leader that inspires other people to create a better version of themselves because they just love being in your presence and seeing what you've become. Feel what that would feel like. Beautiful. Feel the gratitude as though it's already happened. That you have the level that you're at, the checks that you're making, the prosperity, the connection, and embody that archetype in your mission. And now, can you be grateful as though it's already a fact? Can you put your body and teach your body to live in that environment, even if it hasn't happened? Feel it now. Beautiful. So now come back down to earth and embody that individual and open your eyes. Beautiful. Now that was just a couple of minutes. And if you've done this enough times and trained your neurology, your neurophysiology to actually live in that way of being, your dreams and your life will expand exponentially because you've now gone out of the dirt into the clouds, into the mission, vision, and purpose. It's critical that you connect with that each and every day. Now, in the beginning, you're going to notice when you connect to your mission statement and you do that, it's going to feel a little weird to you. Why? Why is that? I want you to take a moment to think of why that's weird for you to do that. And we're going to talk about imposter syndrome. How many of you guys know what imposter syndrome is? Show of hands. Okay. Imposter syndrome is the main obstacle that's going to block you from being able to really expand and make that vision come to life. Imposter syndrome basically means I feel like an effing fraud. How many of you guys know what the hell I'm talking about? Right. Who am I to be making such a difference? Who am I? I mean, I just come from this small town. You know, I have kids and I'm just a mom. I don't have an education, and all of these excuses that have you feeling, you know, I'm not as pretty as Adam. You might be thinking that, you know what I mean? These thoughts might be coming, they might be coming up in your brain, and they all contribute to this imposter syndrome. This feeling of, I feel like a fraud. I don't feel like I'm deserving of these accomplishments. And this is all incredibly fake to me. Now, here's what I want you to do is here's what I want to do is to really put you at ease with that. And I want to put you at ease and letting you know that when you take on a new leadership role and you go to every level and you expand, and you even, maybe you're just jumping into this opportunity for the very first time, and you're just new. How many of you guys are just new to this? Show of hands, like within the last, 3 months, you're just brand new. Okay, great. Here's what I want you to know. You're supposed to feel like a fraud right now, because your nervous system, your body is not used to this version of you. The old version of you wants to pull you back into restraint, into I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. And what happens is you start to go out and share this opportunity, and you hear a no, and all of a sudden that dark passenger, that shadow, that little voice of I'm not enough shows up, and then it pulls you back. And all of a sudden that vision that you had completely gets blocked, and you can't see it anymore. How many of you guys know what the heck I'm talking about? Show of hands. Perfect. Well, let me put you at ease and let you know that that's part of the game. If you go and do something new, it's like your first day of school, that anxiety of, am I in the right place? Do I even belong? It's supposed to be there. So I just want to put you at ease and let you know that you're supposed to feel that way if you're new. That's welcome to the game. And here's the other crazy part to this. Every time you climb up to another level, and correct me if I'm wrong, Adam or Kira, maybe you guys can pipe up and really get vulnerable and share yourselves. You guys are very vulnerable in sharing. Write this down. Every level up brings the devil up. Which means every time you take a new position, you expand in a new role, or you speak to a new audience, there's going to have these nerves come up. That little voice that says, aren't you worthy? Aren't you sure you're just a little piece of shit? Come on, you're just from a small town. You're from so-and-so. I'm serious. I'm serious. That's exactly what will come up. The question is, it's not a question of, oh, that's not supposed to be there. The question is, how are you going to respond? Your work is all about being conscious of that little voice and realize that that's your ego, and that's actually not really who you are. And you are to talk to that voice. And to talk back to that voice in a way that you're defending a really good friend of yours who's getting bullied. Okay? So what I want you to do is to really think about that for a moment. When you are about to approach somebody, or you're connecting with your mission statement, you're about to approach somebody and you hear a no, somebody says no, or I don't want to do this network marketing stuff, or all of the same objections that come up, and then the meaning that you make out of that. What's the meaning that you make out of it? Who would like to share what the meaning is? I come to you, so you come to me and you say, would you like to, hear about this opportunity of health, freedom, whatever spiel that you've been trained or you've kind of integrated to make yours. When they say no, what's the I am statement? This is the beautiful question here. What I want you to turn and ask yourself, take a moment, and somebody says no to you, and that little voice comes up, that little gremlin that comes up and tries to sabotage you. What is that little voice saying? I want you to write it down on the piece of paper, because I want you to be able to distinguish when it happens, so that when it shows up, because it's supposed to show up. It's part of your psyche. It's part of your shadow. When it shows up, what is it saying? So in my case, what it's saying is, who are you to be making such a difference? Who are you to be deciding on, what you're here to do? Who are you here? Why don't you just go ahead and be a chiropractor? Shouldn't you just stay as a chiropractor? You're just a chiropractor. You don't have a right to talk to them about their personal growth and their healing and their transformation. You're trained as a chiropractor. You're not a psychologist. You're not good enough. So I want you to write down the I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, whatever voice that shows up when you're about to talk to somebody about the opportunity, and then you're kind of paralyzed with the fear of rejection. What's the I am statement that shows up? Write it down and then share it with the person next to you. 30 seconds. All right. So, who would like to share? Kira, can I get you to get a microphone so that I can hear? And I'd love to hear. Who would like to share what those voices are? Who would like to share? Yeah.
Who are you to give advice around your health or business? You're just a mom with no certification or professional background.
Who can, show of hands, who can relate? What's your name, hon?
Beck. Beck.
Beck. Hi, Beck. Show of hands, who can relate to Beck? Take a look around you, Beck. Show of hands, who can relate to that voice? Pretty crazy, huh? Okay, who else would like to share? Thank you for sharing that. Thank you. Who else would like to share what their voices are? What their voice? I call that the dark passenger. Who else would like to share?
My BS at the moment has probably been that I've got too much clutter. I don't have flow in my life at the moment. And I've been telling myself this for like the last month, and the universe kicked me in the butt and delivered me with a beautiful house with flow and clarity and a beautiful veranda. And
Show of hands, who can relate to her? I only got a part of that because it just cut off on me, but definitely, yeah. You're not alone, hun. You're not alone. So, who else? Is there anybody else that is it's dying to share their voice of their dark passenger?
fine. Mine is I'll just I'm not a genuine, so I'm a good person, so I'm genuine, so that's my.
Who can relate to her? Right. Okay, thank you so much for sharing. It takes a lot of lady balls to do that. Who else? One more share, go for it. One more share.
My thing is every time
thing that comes back to me, it's going to take you so long to get where you be.
Okay, can you, yeah. Can you repeat that? Because can you repeat that? Because I'm cutting off on you. I'm so sorry. I didn't catch that. I really would love to hear what you had to say.
What comes up for me every time is if I get a no, it's just going to have to take me longer. It's going to take longer.
Yeah. Who can relate to that one? Take a look around you, hun. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you so much for sharing that. That takes courage. That's a beautiful thing. You know, amazing. So impressed with you guys. Thank you so much. I'm touched. So, here's what you're going to do now. Here's what you're going to do now. Check this out. What I want you to do now is to have a ready-made response to that voice. Okay? Because it's going to come up again and again and again. And I got to tell you this. Can you guys hear me or am I cutting off? Okay. So here's what your work is. Here's what your work is. That voice is not going anywhere. I have some bad news for you. There's bad news and then there's good news. Here's the bad news. The bad news is that voice of the dark passenger is what I like to call it, that shadow, is not going anywhere. It didn't start with you. It started long before. You were born into it. Your parents from inherited family trauma. It came from not only inherited family trauma, but when you were a little girl or a little boy growing up, your parents, you know, there were voices of them that you heard, and you did everything you could to fit in. And there was, you know, rejection from your siblings, rejection or abandonment issues from your family. And so then you went into school and perhaps you got bullied there. And perhaps you did some things as a child when you got learning about sexuality, which you feel shamed about, okay? That voice is a part of your psyche. I'm here to tell you that. And it's not going anywhere. However, now that you know what that is, your work is now to become consciously aware when it shows up so that you can distinguish that voice from who you are and have a response ready to go. So here's what I'm going to get you to do now, you guys. This is the fun part. That voice of I'm not good enough, who are you, whatever. Who are you to be making a difference? You're just a mom. You don't have a right to be talking to other people about health. You're not an effing doctor. Whatever story that you have, what you're going to do now is to create a belief or a phrase that is ready-made that literally goes against that. So here's what it would look like for me. That little voice sometimes when I'm out, because I left my chiropractic practice of like 15 years, 3 years ago, I said, this isn't what I want to be doing. I want to move on to be teaching and helping heal and transform relationship anxiety and career anxiety into being powerfully aligned and on purpose, helping people who are stuck in relationship limbo and just get really powerfully aligned. And I really want, you know, and so before my talks, that little voice would say, Nima, you're just a chiropractor. Go back to doing what you're doing. You're just a chiropractor. You're not, you don't have the qualifications to be teaching about mindset. You know, you crack backs for a living. What the hell are you doing? Like, who is it? Like, and so that was running full speed. And what I would do is I change that voice to, I am perfectly qualified to connect with those that are in front of me. I lead with my heart and my vulnerability. So what I want you to do now is that voice, that little phrase that you wrote down, that I'm not enough, that voice of the dark passenger, take a moment now and write down a phrase that you are going to implant into your brain, that consistently each day, like filling cracks in the floorboard, you're going to repeat consistently to balance out the counter forces of that voice of the dark passenger that says that you're not worthy and who are you to be making such a difference. Go ahead and write down the response to that right away. Go for it. And it's got to be relevant to that voice. Then I'm going to share with you what comes next. Now, after you've written that, what you're going to do is you're going to look for evidence in your life right now of that new statement that you wrote to be truer than that original statement of I'm not worthy, I'm not lovable. That first, the primal fear of I'm not enough. Look around you right now and find 3 examples of evidence for the new statement to be truer than the previous one. Go. And what I'd love to do is to have, 3 people. First of all, I'm going to give you guys 30 seconds to share with the person next to you exactly what you wrote down. And then I would like 3 people to come and share it in front of everybody. Go. 30 seconds. Go.
Symbols of evidence.
Go. So let's see who. Let's pick 3 people, Kira, to share. Can you guys hear me? Back.
Yeah.
Back up?
Yeah. I don't know what's
Yeah. Now that's way better.
Yeah.
So can I have 3 people?
Right.
Kira, pick 3 people to share.
Yep, 1, 2, 3.
What's your name? Where are you from?
Denise, I'm from Melbourne.
I love Melbourne. Great coffee, by the way. Great coffee. Go ahead. So what's the new one? What's the old belief that you had? And then the new belief and then evidence. I'm
not successful. The new one is I'm completely in alignment, being successful in every area of my life. Evidence of this is the relationship that I have with my children, the relationship I have with my husband, and my business.
I love it. That's way better than I'm walking around with I'm not successful, isn't it? Go for it. What's your name? Where are you from?
I'm Jackie, I'm from Perth.
Beautiful.
Previously, my belief was that I haven't sorted out my own health and my own mindset, so how can I lead others down that journey?
Nice. Who can relate? Who can relate? Show of hands. Look around you, sweetie.
Why am
You're
I
not alone.
But my new belief is that I am the perfect person to guide people through their journeys because I've been there before.
Yes.
Self-love and health. And my weirdness, my passion, my desire makes me the prime leader.
I just got a wave. I just got a wave through my body. How many of you guys felt like hair stand on the back of your neck and got the goosebumps? And I'm Persian, so I got a lot of hair. It's really embarrassing, actually. I don't really want to talk about it. Go ahead.
My name is Adele. I'm from Melbourne. My old thought was, I told you that said, no, you can't do this business, you're not good enough. My new one is, I can do this, I can achieve anything I set my mind to. My experience comes as I go along. I am enough. I am worthy.
And evidence. And here's the important part. You skipped the important part, you guys. This is really important. You are nobody is here to give you evidence of that. You are the one to extract it from your environment. And the more evidence that you can find each and every day that you can see in your environment that is in alignment with that new belief, your confidence will start to soar. What's the evidence, hon?
The multiple times my son's been in hospital, and I've had to support him and be the strength and courage and voice for him that he didn't have.
Everyone give her a round of applause. Standing ovation. This is amazing. Shannon, hold on. Stop. I want you to turn. Come back up to the front. I want you to turn around and look at the audience. And I want everyone to look at her and just acknowledge her for the stand that she is for her son and how successful that she is as a loving mother for that. Look at her and just receive the acknowledgement. That's what I'm talking about, baby. See, here's the thing. If you don't take the time, this is the message that I have for you guys, and I want to leave it open for some Q&A, but I really want you to get this. Number one, make sure you have a mission statement that declares what you'd love to be, do, and have. Number two, expect that when you level up, it's going to bring the devil up. What's the devil? The little voice that says, who are you to be making such a difference? That imposter syndrome. And number three, expect it. Stop fighting it because it's not going anywhere. It even exists with Kira. It exists with the higher level people. And I've worked with the highest level people. I work with the highest level people that you can imagine, and they still have that voice. So it's not going anywhere. What's changing, what I'm urging each and every one of you to do is to change your relationship with that voice. Just know that it's there, and your job is to listen, acknowledge it, and know that that's not you, and to talk back to it as though you're defending your best friend. And when you get that right, you are more resourced to be able to approach somebody rather than worrying about the rejection of another human being, because truly you're not worrying about the rejection of someone else. The truth of what you're truly worrying about is that little voice of that dark passenger that's been haunting you all your life. That's what you're really afraid of. Because when you really have established a powerful relationship with that voice and you go, oh, I see what you're doing. No. I'm actually successful. I'm the perfect person to be teaching this because I know what it's like, and I can be vulnerable with my story and vulnerable with my vision and vulnerable with the fact that I'm raising myself to be a leader and I want to link up arms with you, with others, and I'm relatable to everyone that I want to help. And you look for evidence. Your work is to look for evidence every single day and acknowledge the evidence in your journaling in the morning and evening. Otherwise, you're going to be mistakenly expecting that people outside of you are going to tell you the right things, say the right things to give you what it is that you think you need, so that that voice goes away and then finally you can be free. It never happens that way. How many of you guys have found this to be useful for you? Show of hands. Oh, great. Awesome. 2 of you. Great. So, does anyone have any questions? Has this brought up what? So here's what I have. Either a question or a share of what this whole conversation has brought up for you. How are you going to be able to use this to make a difference in your community and in your life and in your family?
Let's go first. Yeah.
Hey, how you going?
How you going, mate?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, it's not working.
No, it works. I hear you. Beautiful.
Speak to him. I had an experience a couple of weeks ago where I actually, pretty real and raw this, but I walked into the shed and my partner was standing in the shed and he was talking to himself, and I stood there for 10 minutes and I watched my partner talk to himself, and he didn't even know I was there. And I was like, oh my God, holy fuck, what the fuck is going on? And my partner's ex-army and he's been through some pretty real stuff overseas, and he said this has happened ever since he was over there and what he experienced and everything like that. And here I was thinking, oh my God, like, what's going on? Who is he? You know, blah, blah, blah. And today I've just come to a realization that we all talk to ourselves. It's just a matter of whether somebody actually sees it happening and whether we acknowledge it. So I'm no different to him. It's just that I realized him doing that, and that scared me, but I've now been able to come to a place where that I face that fear and I can live in that now and walk past that.
That's so beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. Wow. Anybody else?
Anyone else got a share or question? What about a powerful, yeah? If anyone else has, especially a powerful question around just having a breakthrough, breaking through those limiting beliefs in relevant to the business, just come stand at the front and that way we can get through them.
Like a walking cheers. So I guess when you said acknowledging the wins, because other people don't. So when you're thriving and you're striving, and what you're saying as well, Jeff, about, you know, doing this business fast and having to get to the next whatever it is and not giving yourself the acknowledgement because of that stuff, like the family stuff. That's huge. And realising that we can just pat ourselves on the back, I guess. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you. And guys, I really want you to get this. Pay attention to how often you're working so hard to be seen and acknowledged by your husband, your kids. Look at me. Give up the expectation that they should support me. Because people don't support you, they support their values. My parents, when I told them I wanted to get out of chiropractic and do this work, they were not supportive at all. They were like, what, are you crazy? and expect that. It doesn't mean they're not supportive or you should stop. It just means that they know what their values are, and being safe is a big value for them. And nothing you've ever wanted to create has ever happened just by playing it safe. But when they see you fulfilled and powerful, not needing of their approval, it comes to you in spades. Why? Because as that beautiful young lady just said just right now, it actually is up to you to acknowledge yourself. Stop needing it externally and give it to yourself. And believe me, the world will only demonstrate approval towards you when you're giving it to you. And it's not crazy for you to talk to yourself and give it to yourself.
Can I share, just on that, I just want to share my story, because obviously I've been working with you for a few months on this now. And I think we all have a wound in some way, shape or form of not feeling validated. And maybe that comes from a culture of where we're not allowed to be proud and, you know, talk about how amazing we are from a young age. That's frowned upon.
Totally.
But it's definitely a big wound that I've worked on with Nima. And, you know, the last couple of coaching sessions, he said to me at the end, so what do you want to be acknowledged for? And I didn't know it was a trick question at the time, but I was sitting there and I'm like, I think he needs an answer. And I'm sitting there and I'm thinking, I'm like, I don't need to be acknowledged. I feel my amazingness, like, for myself. And it was just like, and it was like, yes, we're there, high five, we're done. But it was just such a huge moment. It was a huge moment to be in a space where I can see my own magnificence now, and I don't need that validation from other people, and I feel my own personal power as a woman now. And so just how that's changed my relationships and how I am with people and new people that I'm meeting. I just feel so secure in myself, and I've never had more self-love ever. And self-love has been the thing that has driven me to all of my personal development and everything that I've done, Tony Robbins and traveled to India and all those things. I've been searching and wishing and hoping to find this love within myself. And never has this self-validation work come up in any of that stuff. And it's completely changed my life for sure. So yeah, thank you.
Awesome. Okay, so check this out. What I'd love for you guys to do, if you guys felt that what I shared, because I just only had an hour, and quite honestly, I wanted to go with the flow. I wanted to go with the energy of the room. I like to scare the crap out of myself a little bit. And so I just go in there and say, look, I'm going to share with whatever comes up with the room. And I want to acknowledge you guys for like participating and playing in full. And do you have something that you can leave here going, yeah, I can do that? Do you guys have that?
Yeah.
Each of you. Okay, great. Now, there will be some of you that have noticed that some stuff has come up, some limiting beliefs and some past hurts and everything has probably shown up. I have a free training for those people. It's 30 minutes long, and it talks about this transitional anxiety of building your business, of leaving your current reality and going into the new realm where where you're leveling up and it's bringing the devil up. There's 5 critical shifts that you really need to master. I didn't have enough time to go through all of it. I have a weekend training that I do. I have a program. I do all of that stuff, but I put together, the shifts that not only I help with Kira, but with all of my clients all over the world, the top level executives, what they do. And I have it, I wanted to give that to you guys as a gift for free. And what you guys would do, the way that you access it is, it would be, you have to be able to make an international text message. So what you'll do is whip out your phone right now. Okay. And it's the plus sign. So it's like, you know how you do the plus sign? So when I'm calling you guys, it's +61. When I'm calling somebody in Australia, for you, what you would do is you do the plus sign. Go ahead and grab your phones. Do +1 647 558 9895. So let me repeat that. +1 647 558 9895. And you're going to text the word training. It's just one word, training. And then it's going to say, it's going to pop up and say, cool, where do you want me to send the training? Just put your email in there. And tonight when you go home, watch the 30-minute video of the 5 critical shifts that you need to make. So you text the word training to +1 647 558 9895, and you should have that. And hit the reply button, add me to Instagram @DRNIMA. Go ahead and do that as well. And let me know, give me feedback on what was the most relevant thing for you. What came up for you here? I love the feedback. Usually I have a live audience and then I could give hugs afterwards. I just want to hug all of you. I find the Australian accent very, very sexy, I have to say. So I because I can't be there to give you guys all hugs, I do hope that when I do come to Australia one of these days, that you will come and say hi and come and participate in the training if you're interested. Or just send me an email when you're going to get the email back. Hit reply or hit message on my Instagram, because I'm traveling and it's nice to just hear the feedback on what was relevant to you, because I'm always looking to improve. And I just wanted to say thank you guys for really playing full on today with me.
Thank you. And a huge thank you, because we know that you're traveling right now and speaking, and for you to take that time out. We're just incredibly grateful. So everyone give Nima a freestyle.
Love you guys.
Thank you so much.
Bye.
Awesome. How amazing was that? Thank you, Nima. See you, buddy. Here's
Brother, see ya.
Ever too, by the way. If you ever go to one of his seminars, I want you to have that soul stance. That's all I'm going to say. I just want you guys